It is Thursday, broadcasting live, 234 King Street East in downtown Toronto. So taking a look at the excitement of what we'll be talking about today. Victor Newman will have his weekly CFL picks. And he's thrown in one from the Premiership because apparently the odds makers are all afraid of that Argo game. What do you mean Ricky Ray's not going to play? No, he's actually not playing. So how's about coming up with a line for the game? But they haven't. Also of note, we'll take a look at Charlotte, North Carolina, and seeing if Spieth can be, I guess, the youngest player for the Grand Slam. Pretty hard to do. And the PGA Championship will be a good one. That's a nice grouping, and we'll get to some of those scores. Of course, they're going to change by the time you download this, so that's why we can't really get too excited about, oh, look at that after 8 holes. And then, as it turns out later on, he was hit by lightning, his head exploded. So, DQ'd. So we won't get too much into the actual scores. But definitely the story is going to be Jordan Spieth, for those that want to see the Slam, and then, I guess, including people like Russell, who, well, no, you do want to see it, right? You said you would like to see it done, even though, as you've confided in me, you're a very jealous person. You're very...
jealous of Jordan Spieth?
He's jealous of a lot of people.
Oh, geez.
He was telling me. It's just
Did he go down the list?
Just did.
Is there a top 10? Or?
Well, that's why sometimes I'll be honest, he sabotages the show, technically, just because he just can't stand all the outpouring of love that we get.
Is that what it is?
And he feels that it's unfair. Him as the technical director, as he proclaimed on about show number 2. I'm a technical director. Oh, okay. Well, take it easy. Very temperamental. People don't see that. They don't know that side of him. So we'll talk about the PGA, a little Major League Baseball. Hey, we've actually got some NFL highlights. How about that? I'm like, oh, God, I forgot that what was like. So Deshaun Watson gets his first touchdown last night. I think he played about a half in that game with Carolina and the Texans. So McCaffrey also played as well. I think he touched the ball maybe 5 or 6 times. We've got one of his better runs. But once again, it is preseason, so take it for what you will. But I think when you look at Deshaun Watson, he's probably on a mission, Dave. He's probably one of these guys that, he knows that there is a future for him. It could be immediate, depending on how he takes control of that offense, and if he feels like he's got a real good chance to cement himself as being kind of that future, then even running, and it was a running touchdown, that becomes important. Ultimately, it starts to look like he can handle an NFL defense. Again, it's the first preseason game, but you know how short that window is. It all counts.
Yeah, it definitely does. You know what? 3-horse race for that competition. It's not exactly a big competition. It's Tom Savage and Brandon Weeden. So that's
it's there.
It's there for him. Now from the Houston coaching perspective, do you want Deshaun Watson thrown into the fire in a week 1? That's the only thing that I would be leery of, because I'd be, unless he sparkles the entire preseason. Looked pretty good yesterday, 15 for 25, a little under 200 yards of passing. And it's an offense that's there for him. They have a running attack. They have maybe a top 5 receiver in the NFL. So he is surrounded by talent, and it's talent that was really underutilized last season for the Texans. If the Texans had any sort of quarterbacking last year, they put up a really good fight against the Patriots, and maybe the Patriots aren't headed to the Super Bowl like they were last year, because if you watch that Texans-Patriots playoff game, it was there for them. The defense is fantastic. Houston might have the best defense in the NFL, but the offense did nothing against New England, and that's the reason why they lost.
It kills them each and every year. Almost
It does.
Without question, it's that offense that is their Achilles heel. So we'll start there then. We're talking about Deshaun Watson. We'll take a look at what he did last night. This is his first career touchdown. As I said, it's about reading a defense. It's going to be a scramble, but that's kind of what from this quarterback, they don't mind seeing that. I mean, that's kind of there for him. So once again, property of the NFL, the National Football League. And this was also, by the way, this is the NFL Network it was shown on. So here is Deshaun Watson's very first touchdown as a pro.
Dak twins to the near side on third down.
Looking, running.
Touchdown.
Touchdown.
Deshaun Watson, 15 yards.
Again, Deshaun Watson having the presence of a veteran to see he has nothing. He's got man-to-man coverage.
I mean, there it is.
Just walks into the end zone untouched.
Once again, property of the National Football League, seen on the NFL Network. And I think, again, not to go too over the top, but I think if the read is there, Dave, if he sees it, he takes advantage of it, and as the guy said on the network last night, that's kind of a veteran move. He sees it there, and he takes it in for a touchdown. If he can do that, I'm not going to be shocked if he's starter week number 1.
At least the announcers didn't say he looks like a modern-day Vince Young.
Yeah,
I'm just saying.
Some of those comparisons you don't want.
Vince Young. Anyway,
Well, if he keeps that kind of command, he's going to be like the Hitler of the NFL. Dave, no, we don't use that anymore. It's not a good reference.
Yeah, it's a terrible reference, exactly. Houston will be in a pretty good fight in that division because if you look at the division, no team looks like they can just sit there and grab the division like a Patriots in the East kind of thing because you have the Titans, which I think are the odds-on favorite to win that division. You got the Colts with Andrew Luck that still should be at least around the 500 mark, and then you have the Houston Texans, which boast the best defense. Can the offense come through? Maybe the Houston Texans might be, the biggest answer to what the Tennessee Titans did in the offseason, but we'll have to see. That division is no longer the type of division that just gets kicked around like they have in the past. Even Jacksonville. I kind of like what Jacksonville did with their team in the offseason as well.
Hopefully they change their uniforms, Dave, because
that's the only thing they're missing.
It's tough to watch like 2-3 hours of that.
No, it certainly is. And it depends on which side of the helmet you look on, too. You know what I mean? Leonard Fournette, and I'll know we'll get this a little bit later on as the month of August goes. Leonard Fournette, for my money, will be the rookie of the year and will be the equivalent to what Zeke Elliott did with the Cowboys last year, and that's what the Jaguars have in the backfield. So look for an improvement on a Jacksonville team that should have been improving for the last number of years. Perhaps this is the year.
So it's interesting you talk about the Titans. Marcus Mariota, I mean, you're going to get into that fantasy world very shortly, as you said, as the month progresses, but something tells me he could have like a monster year. I really do. I really think that he's capable of putting up some yardage. But again, he's also a cerebral guy. I mean, people want to go back to him as the duck quarterback, saying, "Well, it was read option, different." But he made, I think, so the comparison would be like Jameis Winston at Florida State runs a pro-style offense. Marcus Mariota it was the opposite at Oregon.
Completely.
That's the Chip Kelly, running a play every 19 seconds. Doesn't really translate to the NFL, and as much as people thought there'd be an influence of it, that isn't and didn't. Even the clock's different. You can't really run that kind of thing. But I take a look at what Marcus is able to do from an intellectual standpoint when they start talking about football IQ, and that guy's got it. So I think he could have a huge year. McCaffrey. A lot of people, seeing him come out of Stanford, they're like, okay, so how is he going to be used? So in Carolina, Houston, you had two of the young stars out there. And so McCaffrey got the ball maybe 5 or 6 times. We thought worth a watch on maybe the kind of formation that you're going to see McCaffrey out of, used right here as a running back. And once again, a courtesy and property of the National Football League, seen last night on the NFL Network.
I'm sure he's lined up right. McCaffrey takes the handoff, darts through an opening, keeps his pads and his legs churning.
He could go.
Down, rushing Carolina Panthers.
Guys, so he just gets behind his lineman, and it's hard to find him in there. And then all of a sudden, he pops out on you, and then dives for a few more yards.
And there could be a lot of that. It's interesting that they put it that way, in that Dave, because he's not overly large, And he's a guy that runs with a kind of a low center of gravity. He's not huge necessarily, but he's really quick and he's really smart. You go to Stanford, you're smart.
Yeah, you definitely are. You know what? I like this guy so much. In my fantasy draft this past weekend, I made him my first overall pick. I was looking.
Oh, really?
Yeah, I was looking.
So you're done with the fantasy?
Absolutely,
You're already in.
Absolutely, it is. And obviously, I wasn't picking in the top 5 or anything like that, and we already did have some keepers established, but. This is a guy that's going to fit into an offense where he will take the pressure off of Cam Newton. Cam Newton doesn't have to touch the ball, 10, 12 times running it because they have the stud running back in the backfield. The NFL is very allowing of rookies to come off of a high-profile college team and fit right into the NFL seamlessly. It's almost like none other sport. The only comparison I'd say is maybe for those first couple draft picks in the NHL where you can go off a junior team and survive in the NHL. NFL, you come off of a big college program, you can start week 1, especially if you're a big, strong running back with fresh legs.
I'd say by position.
This is one of them.
Yeah,
this is one of them.
I agree. If you've got a stud running back, it's certainly a lot easier than say coming in as a quarterback.
Absolutely.
I still think you roll the dice on that a little bit.
I think also like even at the receiver position, there's a couple of nice young receivers that will come in and they will start. There's a couple nice defenders that will come in and they will start. Quarterback, it's almost a nurturing process.
It's
where
tough.
It's like you got to learn.
Like I think that, and we'll go back to that Deshaun Watson conversation. Because of need, and I mean, think about. So it was Kurt Warner when he was quarterbacking the Giants, and it was week number 2, maybe even 3. Eli, you're in.
Yeah.
There was gone are the days where the guy's going to put the baseball cap on backwards with the clipboard and watch the veteran Dave Bastel play a whole year in front of him. They just don't do that anymore. I think it's a reflection of what we see basically in society is what are you going to do now? Like, what are you going to do for me right now? I need it now. This whole building for the future, and they don't have a lot of that in professional sports, period. I still think, it's funny you mentioned hockey. There can be blue chip guys that get drafted, but for the most part, when you look at let's say even the top 8 in a draft year, unless you have a Connor McDavid, an Austin Matthews, something like that, you're going to see the majority of those guys either go back to their junior teams. They're gonna play a couple of years. That even if they should go to an AHL team and they play in the minors, it's almost like, at least to me, anyways, the NHL has an understanding that you still have to take those boys and make them into men. In the NFL, at times, you don't get that break.
Right.
If you're coming in as a man, you're playing as a man, and that's the difference.
Yeah, it totally is, and maybe in any other sport because Major League Baseball, sometimes it takes years for players to actually make it up to the big show. And you're right, spot droppings of the NHL, but NFL, you're ready? You're ready.
You're watching rawmike.richards.com on the dedicated YouTube channel or right on our website. If you want to do that, rawmike.richards.com. Remember to sign up, become part of the Richards Army. Subscribe and share. This is what we tell people. Subscribe and share. It's the good thing to do. It'll make you feel good about yourself. Speaking of fantasy, I see that this is a courtesy of ESPN. So this is their numbers. The top 300 fantasy hockey rankings. And as you take a look at it, do you have any problems? I mean,
I got some problems.
So I'm going to find some.
I got some problems.
Some magical.
I think Russell's going to like me on some of this commentary too.
Is there swearing?
Oh, no. Well,
okay.
Russell only swears when we're off air.
Okay.
Not on air.
Oh, he hides a lot of things,
He
too.
does.
Okay.
He does. Okay, here we go.
All right. Take a look at it. So let's start Connor McDavid.
I don't mind the Connor
Right.
McDavid argument. I think he's going to be number 1 for the next 10 years. I'm not going to lie about that. That's easy. That's, any staff writer for ESPN. Yeah, kudos to ESPN. They fire their hockey staff, but then they put out this. Like, who is behind this garbage? Do you know what I mean? Like,
It's
anyway,
it's the business, Dave, as
I
you know.
I know.
The janitor did this, by the way.
And sometimes the business sucks.
Yeah.
Trust me. Sergei Bobrovsky is not a top 10 pick when it comes to fantasy. That is complete asinine. Nikita Kucherov to be 6th overall is crazy. I don't understand that one bit. When I look at some of the mistakes on this list.
Is Braden Holtby the top goalie in the league?
Yes, he is.
Okay.
Fantasy-wise, just because Braden Holtby might play 82 games. I'm just
Right.
saying. So it gives you the chance of, okay, that he's going to be there forever.
So that's why Carey Price is goalie 2.
Correct, exactly. When I look at some of the mistakes, I look at Erik Karlsson at 18. That is far too high. Erik Karlsson will compete with Brent Burns and maybe even get more points than Brent Burns. That will happen. Mistake number 2, Tyler Seguin is not the 19th best fantasy player. He's much higher than that. He has had some injury problems. That's understandable, but points-wise, he is higher. Vlad Tarasenko is not 21st. He's much higher than that. Mark Scheifele, that's ridiculous to have him at 22nd. That is completely asinine to have him there. He might be a top 5 this year. And maybe the biggest joke, and this is where our little buddy might really love me because I do give him a hard time.
Who's your little buddy?
Russell Graham.
Oh, okay.
Austin Matthews at 29? What are you kidding me?
Yeah.
Austin Matthews at 29. Austin Matthews, if he improves on the year he had last year at 69 points, and he will improve on that, folks, he will be a top 10 scorer in the National Hockey League. So to put him at 29, even if you're being liberal about it, he will be a top 15 to 16 scorer. But you doubled it, ESPN, and you put it at 29. That makes no sense whatsoever. I think that's embarrassing, to tell you the honest truth. And then when you look further down the list, John Tavares at 32nd. Really? John Tavares is the 32nd best fantasy player. John Tavares is a first-round draft pick if you're playing with 8 players. I don't get that at all. So
Dave, in all fairness to the janitor, I mean,
I know
he had to mop
Chuck,
he had to wax. It might have been a waxing day.
Chuck tries his best, but maybe don't give the keyboard to Chuck when he's trying to file the top 300. Russell Graham, agree or disagree with my analysis? Start from the top to the bottom. Yeah. Leon Draisaitl, too, at number 26. Really? Number 26, the guy that's going to ride shotgun with Connor McDavid at 26? That makes no sense whatsoever either.
Yeah, I don't understand how Karlsson, that's the one that sticks out to me the most. He's definitely a top 10 pick in fantasy. I think he still goes before Brent Burns, no matter what.
And Brent Burns is a nice defenseman. I like him. I love the look. I can't pull off that look, but I like the look. And
I don't. It's disturbing to me.
I think it looks crazy.
He looks like he should be coming from some a mosque somewhere or some sort of church that worships like squirrels or something. I have no idea what that look is.
And then you looked at further down those. Patrick Laine at 38. What are you kidding me? Patrick Laine will play the same amount of shifts, power play opportunities with a Mark Scheifele. He will be on Mark Scheifele's line. That is the Jets' first line, and he will be a top 15 to 20 scorer in the National Hockey League, probably for the next decade. Not at number 38. I would love love to compete against whoever wrote this list for ESPN on any hockey pool and take their money, because that's what I like to do. I will take your money, ESPN. If you're interested in joining the fantasy pool, you pick the amount you want to play.
I love the fact that there's extra stank and anger when you mention one of the Winnipeg Jets and where they are.
You know what that
extra
is?
Hate.
You know what that is? That's just ignorance. That's what that is.
Well, who wrote this?
I don't have a clue.
I don't think there's
If it wasn't for the last 3.5 weeks of the season, Patrick Laine is the Calder Trophy winner, and he beats out a very, very good center in Austin Matthews.
It says ESPN fantasy staff.
Yeah, fantasy.
Staff.
You bet.
But they don't have any.
Yeah, you got it.
Because they fired everybody.
Unreal.
This is what you get.
This is
what you get.
And if this is what you get, I'm not interested in reading your columns anymore.
Like, in all fairness, a guy like Kevin Gibson can do this in his sleep, and it would never look like this.
No, Kevin Gibson would do this.
Yeah.
Kevin Gibson could give us a better list in the next 5 minutes if we text him. Hi, Kev. I know you're watching.
We actually should get him on. What if they allow that? They probably wouldn't like it, which is why we should do it. Which is exactly why we should do it. Gibby. Yeah, what am I doing? Inviting you to hijack the show like you always used to do? So there it is. Once again,
they should have named it the Swiss cheese list because there's so many holes in this.
Hey, that's pretty good, Dave.
You like that, right? I just thought of that right now.
I'm
not even a big Swiss cheese guy. I'm a cheddar.
Yeah, I like cheddar too. I like a lot of cheese. Speaking of cheese, I've got a little something. Maybe I'll put what music do I have here? Shit music. Let's do some shit music. Hold on. Let's do this.
Yep.
And
oh boy,
welcome to Super Thursday giveaway.
Super Thursday giveaway.
Yeah, and It is, just so you know, courtesy of our friends at Stonewall Kitchen.
I did not see that.
Look at that.
This is the best Thursday ever.
The boozy bacon. It's got boozy bacon barbecue sauce. Come on,
this
come
is
on.
Awesome.
That is.
Thank you.
Look at Russell not clapping.
Russell, start clapping.
How come he gets it? I'm gonna hurt myself.
You know, the funniest part about this is you and I going back and forth as barbecue sauce connoisseurs that we are, and this taking. Bless you. And this taking longer than ordering a bottle of wine at a vintage store.
Yeah, it was like a month. It took over a month, and I had to pre-order it. Like unbelievable.
I can't wait to dive into this.
No,
I might even try this tonight. I hope it doesn't rain. I heard we were supposed to get a little bit of rain.
Will you get rain today?
I hope not.
Dicks.
But
leave us alone.
It's been that kind of summer though, hasn't it?
Well, here out west, it's been gorgeous. I know that in
God's
Alberta,
country.
And here it's God is the tears of the Lord all over Ontario about every 5 minutes. Like you just never know what's going to happen.
No.
Even yesterday, I thought it was supposed to be perfect and beautiful.
Yeah.
Where I live, we got a little the rain came down a little bit. Also today, what else do we want to talk about? Well, we mentioned Jordan Spieth. You know, an athlete is on the younger side when they say. If you won a career Grand Slam at 24, like he goes, it'd be really cool. Really cool.
Really cool.
Be keen. But that is the potential he has right now. Now, if I'm looking at the early, once again, when this has been recorded, we're talking about 10:24 a.m. Eastern time. And so these scores obviously very, very early. You got Shane Lowry, who's 1 under through 10. So through 10, Matsuyama's 1 down. You got Paul Casey through 7, 3 under. But we're talking about the first couple of hours of a PGA, which in some ways means nothing, Dave. But I find if you really chunk it badly, you don't win it on a Thursday, but you can lose it on a Thursday.
Sure you can.
So I think if you're Jordan Spieth, he's through 6. He's 1 down. I believe he parred his first 5 holes. Like he just smoothed the first 5 holes. The course is Quail Hollow in Charlotte, North Carolina. So this is a pretty cool event. It's the 99th PGA Championship, and you got some people like John Daly. John Daly's still in it, and it's interesting hearing from some of the pros saying, what's the difference now as opposed to, earlier days. Well, John Daly in his prime, if you want to put it that way. He would outdrive guys by 50 yards. Now there's 20 guys that can sail right past him.
Sure.
I mean, still a big ball. But some of these guys, I mean, you talk about, 350 off the tee, and they're not jumping out of their shoes to do it. That's what kills me. How do they do that anyway?
How to do what?
Hardly swing.
And
they're going, that's about 327. 327?
And some of these guys are.
Do you know what we look like? All you have to do is watch us when there's the average ham and egger. When you get up to the little thing, it goes, long drive competition, long drive. Pants are flying off, shoes are like Charlie Brown when he kicks tries to kick the football.
Hey, man.
You're spinning in the air. You're just, you're crying. You shit your pants. I don't know what's going on.
Maybe not that part.
There's blood on the ground.
I don't know about that one either.
All of a sudden, and at the last tournament, the Epilepsy Canada, Dave won it.
Yeah.
Dave won the long drive.
And you heard me grunting once
shoes were coming off, and I was like,
I swung through my shoes.
Oh, long drive.
I was telling, and Russell could pipe in on this one. I was telling Russell 3 or 4 holes before that I can't wait for that long drive hole.
Oh yeah, it's long drive is coming. Because have you ever done this where you hit the ball and then all of a sudden you see them go, well, what's that? Oh, this was the long drive hole. It was?
Yes. Yes.
Like you have something special. It's like, but my super sexy, unbelievably extra long drive swing, I didn't do it there. I just did my average snap hook, get mad, and throw the club swing.
You mean if you would have known, you would have hit 300 in the fairway?
Oh, I have
man.
I have a 327 sitting in the bag right now. Thanks, guys. Thanks a lot. But it's true. Guys get salivating. They're all, and then here's the problem. Okay, so guys, we're inside 75 yards on this one. It's a best ball. Let's all try to just smooth it on. Let's just all smooth it on.
Yeah.
Dave's got us at the 327 yards. Now we're just chipping it and chunk, fuck me, boom, chunk, fuck, shit,
Shoot again.
kunk. Like it's brutal. Everyone duffs it. I was like, have any of us played before? Dude,
You know what? Sparingly, you know that.
it's we
You know
golf
that.
about once every 2 years, or it's
In our-
starting to feel that way.
In our heads, we'd probably be out once a week if we could, but not realistic.
Here's the real problem, and I don't know if everyone does it, but I don't mind talking about my illness, and I think it's schizophrenia. I don't know what you call it, but if I hit a really good shot, and people are like, nah, I shot Richie, blah blah blah, way to go, blah blah blah, and so as I approach my second shot, I think there's a gallery, I do, and I hear the guy going, well, he finds himself in familiar territory. Richards with a 389-yard drive. And he is going to try to set this one close. He's done it before. He can do it again. That's what I hear. And then chunk. Oh, fuck me. Shit course. Where's the fucking wind? Who picked that club? Oh, yeah. Look at the guy over there. Where's the cart girl? Shit course. Fucking terrible tournament. And that's where it falls apart.
Yeah.
And then the talking goes away. Oh, that was a disappointing shot. Boy, he is fucking shit. Why am I talking in his head? I shouldn't be on here.
I want to hear Jim Nance do that.
Yeah, just what would be the and Jordan Spieth, the young man from stub my fucking toe. Who put that bar there? Who puts it? Honestly, CBS.
Could you imagine Jim Nance at a McDonald's drive-thru? I'll have a Big Mac.
And I'll have if you can large size it. I mean, but some of these guys, I think they actually talk that way all the time. It would be very annoying. I think very annoying.
Oh yeah.
Zucchino doesn't talk that way.
No, he doesn't.
But it's just kind of an annoying, higher pitched voice. Anyway, sort of.
Speaking of championships, do you want to give the girl that may have recorded a championship ring yesterday a phone call right now? Because she just texted me and said she's ready to go if we are.
Okay, so people who have listened and watched our show when we were on TSN 1050, back in the day when they had ratings, Candice DeVry was the update person, but she was a part of the show.
Yes, very, very.
She did a lot of great things. We adored her, and of course, they completely dismantled the station so they could be like really last in almost every category I can think of. I don't know of a competition where you try to do that, but if there was, TSN 1050 is winning at losing. So let's see if this. Now it's Skype, so you never know. We're gonna roll the dice.
Okay, here we go.
Come on, Skypey. Skypey. Come on. Oh.
Uh-oh.
There's a little thing here.
Is it?
Let's see if is it ringing?
Oh, here we go.
Oh my god. Oh my god. Oh my god.
Hello?
Is this Candice?
It is.
Oh my god, how great to hear. Just so you know, we're rolling live, so if you're going to get potty, if you're going to be all salty. And
We're okay with it. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, and by the way,
I
so
was going to say, of course.
congratulations, you got engaged.
Yeah.
Thank
All
you
right.
So, did you know this was coming? Is this was a shock? Because it's been a couple of years though, right?
Yeah, we've been together just over 2 years now.
Yeah.
So I had a feeling soon-ish, but you never know, right? Like because anywhere you go, you could be like, oh, you're thinking, is this it? Is it going to happen?
You're
So
totally like
I
that
didn't,
too, aren't you?
So
It's like going to the grocery store, going away, like, oh, this could be it. This could be the day. You never know, right?
and the first name of this gentleman, so people know.
It is Paul.
It is Paul.
It is Paul.
Paul, but Paul is Italian. Is that correct?
He's Italian.
He is.
Yes.
He is.
So
yeah.
that means you're going to have
So
a little.
It'll be a large.
I was going to say
wedding.
a little 750 person wedding is what you're going to get now. Is what you're having. Well,
I mean, I think we'd like to keep it under 750.
well, you know what? We were just actually talking because people ask all the time. Well, number one, they're always pissed off about what happened. They just don't believe it, and no one listens anymore. So, I mean, that's always the first part of the conversation. And the second part is, what is Candice doing? So what are you up to these days for the people watching and listening here?
So I am now working for the government of Ontario.
Wow.
So it's quite a change. So I left TSN and I've been doing school part-time.
That's what I thought, yeah.
So I'm doing my HR management certificate. So I'm doing that on the side. And then during the day, I am working at the Ministry of Seniors Affairs. So it's a total change.
I guess it
was
is.
doing before.
Same sort of people, though,
yeah.
work there than you worked with at TSN, right?
Yeah.
Kind of like same sort of, yeah.
So
Same environment, of course.
Yeah, but also, let's just say this. If you're going to steal from people, great place to do it. You know, seniors, they have no idea what's going on. You could bilk them out of money. No one's going to know. You have the face of an angel. Who's going to see it coming? Great move by you. Great move by you.
Yeah, that's really my MO here.
That's what it is.
Man. Okay, hey, Candace, okay, not to go too detailed on you, but how did he propose to you? Can you tell us that story, or is it kind of personal, or did he ask your mom for permission, or how did it all work out? If you can kind of tell us that side of it, because anytime people ask, in the past, Irene and I, it's like, well, how did Dave do it? And and we tell the little story, right?
Yeah, no, we were actually we went away to the Millcroft Inn this past weekend, which is in Caledon. So it's a really pretty place. There's a big waterfall and that kind of stuff. So he asked me by the waterfall. We had a balcony on our room, so it was like right by the waterfall. It was perfect setting. So that was nice. But he did ask my dad.
Oh, very good.
So my dad knew for like 2 weeks, and so
Really?
Yeah. So he's been dying for like, okay, do it so I can like not have to hold on to this anymore. So yeah, so he asked him for permission, which was kind of a shock to me. I didn't know he was going to do that, actually. So that was nice. And he's had the ring for like about a month or so. So it's been in the house, and I've been around it, just not knowing that it's been in there. So
oh boy,
it was well hidden. But yeah, and a family friend of his parents actually is a jeweler. And so he made the ring, which was really cool.
Oh, that's fantastic.
Now, what does Paul do? Does he have a job? Is he a thief? What does he do? What happens with him?
He's a thief. Well, no, he's not. He's starting a new job next week. So I guess he officially changed his LinkedIn, so I guess I can drop it. But
sure.
He's the VP for it's the Federation of Rental Housing Providers of Ontario.
Very good.
So he's
so people gotta pay the rent on time, or Tisparo Tentanocchio, you gotta pay on time. Is that
exactly
kind of that? But they're calling it a vice president of rental associations or something now. Is that what the name is?
Yeah.
Well, you know what?
So he's
Now,
it's all good, yeah.
Sports-wise, are you keeping up with stuff? I know you're a CFL girl, and I know that you have a little bit of an affinity for the Hamilton Tiger Cats.
Poor Ticats.
And right now, oh boy, I got to tell you, not good.
And the Bombers are hammering them this weekend, by the way, Candace.
Oh,
Sorry.
I don't know about. I don't know. This could be the big win.
You know what? I feel so bad. It's so painful to watch. I haven't gone out to a game yet this year, and I've been wanting to go. And Paul's actually never been to a Ticats game. And
oh, really?
So I'm like, no, you got to go. But I mean, they're so bad this year. I almost don't want to take them.
Well, you could honeymoon in Hamilton.
First impression.
You could honeymoon in Hamilton.
Which would be lovely.
Which it's this time of year. Wow, the view of the Burlington Bay. In fact, it's a lake that you can set on fire. Is what it is in Hamilton. But well, you know what? Thanks so much. It's great to hear you. People miss you a ton, and depending on what your schedule is, and after you've finished taking money from under the pillows of old people, we'll get you down here because we'd love to see you on camera. We'd love to have you down here because people really miss you, and I know I certainly do.
Well, it's so nice to hear both your voices. It's been so long, and it's always nice to catch up. And definitely, if I can make it down for one of these shows and come out and chat and hang out, and we can talk life and sports and all that, that'd be great.
And the studio's in a bar. I mean, come on. I mean,
oh, of course.
How easy is that? Well,
you're not surprised.
Yeah.
It's not shocking at all.
You heard the shock in her voice. Well, congratulations to you, and congratulations to Paul, and we'll see you real soon. You take care, and as I said, hopefully we'll have you on the air soon for people who want to see it.
Sounds good. Great talking to you guys, and thanks for having me on.
Thanks, Candace.
Thanks, Candace.
Bye.
Candice DeVay joining us there for all the people who've always wondered what's going on. It's always
Absolutely.
nice to see people sort of.
That just happened actually yesterday. I caught that and I texted her and hey, that was great. She deserves it. She's an awesome person and boom,
Yeah.
next phase of life starts,
Well,
right?
life, as you know, continues on regardless. And as I said, sometimes you lose touch with people, which in our business happens quite a bit. Sometimes they have to leave towns. I mean, that's how difficult it can be. So, I mean, obviously, Dave and I are thrilled to be able to do this every day. And then also to catch up with Candice was pretty cool. So we love that. You were watching rawmikeRichards.com on the dedicated YouTube channel. If you're doing that, make sure when the subscribe button comes up, the little red banner, click on it. Therefore, you won't miss a thing. Or go to rawmikeRichards.com. Watch the show. You can always get the updates. And, of course, the podcast comes out later today. iTunes, Google Play, or Tune In, which is another way that you can do it. Looking at baseball last night, it's really not much of a conversation when you're talking about the Blue Jays, but I think when you start looking at the possibilities, I suppose, what we're going to see in October. So this will be of no surprise. This is number 33, I think, for Cody Bellinger. His 33rd home run this year. But get a load, if you're watching, get a load of the technique in the swing, Dave. You talk about a smooth stroke. So courtesy and property of Major League Baseball and Major League Baseball Advanced Media, watch this.
264. Zach Greinke coming
Oh.
off an 8-pitch first inning, and that one gets out of here in a hurry.
Holy.
Cody Bellinger, that's home run number 33.
Look how smooth,
And it's
though.
1-0
Just
Dodgers.
wrists all the way through.
Bellinger has now hit homers in 5 of his last 8 games.
That is just a thing of beauty, Dave. So if we're taking a look at the Dodgers, they're hoping to get Kershaw back sometime in September, and it looks like he's right on track for that happening. So, you know, when you need him, you're going to have him, and if that's the case, are we saying that the Dodgers may be good enough to win the World Series?
Yes.
Yeah.
I would say right now, if I'm betting anything, it's the Dodgers coming out of the National League, and we'll see what happens then. But you know what? Right now, if I, gun to my head, pick a World Series winner, it's the Los Angeles Dodgers. I think they're better than the Houston Astros. I think they're better than Boston. I think those are the number 1 and 2, maybe a little bit of Cleveland Indian as well. But sorry, Dan Wong's just outside.
What's Diane Wong doing outside?
I don't
Do you
know.
have a picture?
Yeah, we can kind of see him when it's on me. Yeah. Okay. No.
How come he's getting all the good cigarettes? Sorry, go ahead.
But when you look at a healthy Clayton Kershaw with Darvish, a Rich Hill, and Alex Wood, that might be the best rotation playoff-wise in baseball, and that's why they have the edge. And I'm not really, reporting any big news, but face the facts. I think the Dodgers are winning the World Series this year.
The Houston Astros, they've lost 2 in a row. They're 3-7 in their last 10. So forget about the 71-42, Dave. That's what I think. I think you take a look at that, what has been at times, quite an astonishing season, and it will mean dick all come at the end of September and October because they're going to run to a team who, quite frankly, I don't know. I mean, would a Boston or a New York be afraid or intimidated? I just don't think they have. Like, when you have to play Boston and New York, it comes with a weight. And we've talked about on the show and the shows we've done all these years about that culture of winning. I don't feel that pressure upon seeing the Houston Astros either in their building or them coming to mine. But I sure as hell feel it if it's the other way around, Dave, and I got to go to Fenway or I got to go to Yankee Stadium. That's a different conversation.
And I think it's
in October as well.
Yes, and I think it's all about history as well, right? It's
sure it is.
You have two franchises, world elite franchises that have kind of owned October for the last, for the better part of Major League Baseball's existence, right? Those are two of the most intimidating places to actually play, especially at that time of year. And Houston hasn't established themselves. Houston is a team of the future, and the future is right now, but is the future going to be this year? Because if the Astros don't do it this year, and there's a possibility they won't because there's a lot of great teams, the Astros will be here next year. And the Astros will be here the following year, and the Astros will be, you know what I mean? It's their time, it's their turn, so to speak, and this is a franchise young enough and good enough to be productive for the next 4 to 5 years.
It's amazing how just a turn of phrase at times can send people into like outrage. This is a climate that we've created in current society, where if there is even a word or a phrase that you somehow don't like, the shit that gets caused by it, the outrage, this people going on their keyboards and to me almost in a frenzy of sometimes, and it's not passion to me. It's like crazy town. So John Elway,
Oh boy.
was trying to diffuse a comment that was made, I think, in Denver on one of the radio stations. That because of their quarterback situation.
Which isn't great, by the way.
Yeah, so would there be speculation on them looking at other quarterbacks?
Should be.
I'm sure it's constant, because that's what would be happening if you were in Denver. He goes on Twitter and calls the quarterback trade rumor irresponsible. But here's how he says it. Rumor of us being interested in anyone other than the QBs we have is another example of irresponsible fake news.
Why did he have to say that? As soon as he used fake news.
So he uses fake news.
Yeah.
And people are they're losing it. It's like, if you're going to bring politics into but he was just using a phrase that he hears.
Yeah, but it's associated with the idiot. You associate yourself with the clown of the world. And, well,
let's just say, Dave, you say clown of the world, and that's fake news too. I mean, I'm very impressed by, some of the things you do. I've seen your wife. She's very beautiful. I have a beautiful wife as well. I know what you're talking about. And also her sister is quite spectacular. So I don't know. I mean, the fact that you say Richards isn't going to get with her, I have to say something about that. I think that's fake news as well, because Richards is huge. He's going to be huge. I don't know why I did that. Yeah, people are like, hey, you love Trump. Why is Trump on your show?
I'll have to say exactly.
Trump's on your fucking show. Here on the computer.
That's a pretty good impression of the guy on the keyboard.
Oh, yeah.
That is our audience.
What do they call it? Social justice warriors? Oh, my God.
Some of the audience, not all of it.
So let's really stir it up then. So what about all this stuff about Colin Kaepernick? Oh, the whole world's against him.
I don't get that at all.
Here's the thing, folks.
Like the whole world's against him.
Here's the whole
BS.
thing. Do I believe that outwardly ownership across the entire league in a form of collusion have got together and said, yeah, you don't hire him either. And then Jerry Jones goes, yeah, you don't hire him neither. Like don't get, and don't touch Tony Romo either. I don't bring him back because he's mine. I would say
I have this secret list.
Yeah, it's like Colin Kaepernick. If you're his father, and so this is a hypothetical question, right? So if you're his, or a confidant, his friend, a brother, or his management team, and he says, "Look, I've got something that I feel very strongly about, and the way I'm going to show it is by kneeling during the national anthem. So for the entire season, when they play the national anthem, I won't stand." If I'm his dad, I'm saying, okay, I understand what you're representing. I understand it as a form of protest. Just so you know, not that I'm against what you're protesting or not that I don't back you in your feelings, but if you kneel during a national anthem for an entire season, don't think there won't be backlash, son. Don't think that everyone's going to love you for what you do. In fact, even if it causes more attention, which is what you want, remember there is a price to that. Just so we're clear, you going in. There are ways that you can show protest, and maybe it's once. Maybe you do it once. But if you continue to do this for an entire season, don't be surprised that those that don't feel your way and don't have to feel your way may be not that excited to hire you down the line. So here's the other thing, son. You better throw for 5 touchdowns a game. You better win every goddamn playoff game. You better beat everyone every week. And if that's not going to happen, just remember consequences to the actions.
Completely.
That's what I'd say.
Yeah.
That's what I'd say.
That's really well put, too. And the other side of it is, because people sit there and go, Jay Cutler in Miami was a snap of the fingers, not Colin Kaepernick. Well, guess what? Jay Cutler is better. So I'm hiring the better quarterback.
Well, Dave,
that's all it is.
But Dave, did you see these people get into, again, because it's got social issues attached to it. People want to throw a racist card out there. They want to throw a lot of different hurtful adjectives on people who disagree with that, because they'll say things, but look at the quarterback rating. I go, but quarterback ratings don't win you games.
No.
You can have the most stunning QB rating of all time and not be a guy that's necessarily even garnered or wanted by other franchises. You got to win me football games. So I get the metrics that they do that works into you sort of understanding where they are as a quarterback. But the reality is, give me the guy who wins. Just give me the guy who wins. So I look at this situation and go, at the very most, and let's say there's not the social issue attached to it. There is no kneeling during the national anthem. How badly do you want Colin Kaepernick to be the starting quarterback or a backup quarterback on your team? To me, it's about a 50-50 proposition. I don't have an enormous dislike for him necessarily. I wouldn't say that. I definitely, that wouldn't be true at all. But do I think he's going to be my starter? Well, after his first couple of years that were sensational, it gets into that, does he understand how to alter what he did beforehand when it comes to reading those defenses into just maybe not wanting to throw the ball and then run?
Yeah, I think you just said it right there. Fantastic start to the NFL career. NFL defenses adjust. Kaepernick has no rebuttal.
Yeah.
That's what it's been.
So if you have difficulty reading a defense, I don't care how fast you can run or throw, all those other things that would be great attributes, and maybe on your team, your quarterback rating was decent. But if you can't win me the football games, and I know that the defenses in that league have figured you out, why am I taking a chance? Why am I taking a chance? But because it's attached to social issues and what he did, and as I said, if you want to protest, I mean, it's freedom of speech in the United States. That's what it is, and here for the most part in Canada. But remember, there's always a price to pay for that kind of action. And when you think, okay, ask someone in the military how they would have felt about that.
Bingo.
Ask families who have maybe multi-generational of family that have served in areas of the service, how they feel about someone purposely kneeling during the national anthem. And that's a whole, and then you're going to find passion on the other side. And you have to respect that. You have to respect that they have lost generations of family members so we can have that flag and sing that anthem. So again, if you want to attack it in that way, that's the consequence. So I'm not shocked or surprised or outraged. Now look, if he could win you football games, we're not even having this conversation. We're just not.
If it's Matt Ryan that is kneeling during the national anthem.
If it's Aaron Rodgers. So if Aaron Rodgers starts doing it.
Yeah. And then he's a free agent.
Yeah, and the Packers go, that's it. You're rude. Get out.
There'll be 31 other NFL teams all sit there and go, come kneel over here on this sideline.
We will give you extra knee pads, man. We will give you knee pads. Yeah. We can sell those at the stadium, too. Aaron Rodgers knee pads. Anthem kneelers. Whatever we got to call them. People are outraged, and everyone's outraged and shocked. Yeah, I'm outraged and shocked that there's no number for the Toronto Argonaut
big time
Montreal Alouette game. There will be, I would say, maybe tomorrow, but there certainly isn't right now.
Is it time for some CFL picks?
I think it is time for CFL picks because I see him coming in now.
It is a Thursday. The limousine's outside here, right beside Dan Wong, who just walked by again. And I don't know.
Hold on, because I know that when Victor Newman comes in, so as I'm killing time here.
Oh, that's okay.
And by the way, he was
3-1.
3-1 because of
3 for 4 basically.
Because of the stupid Edmonton Eskimos, they couldn't cover. I wonder if he's going to change his mind.
Well, the thing is, the Eskimos again, favorites this week too, right? Not really. Well, actually, you know what? That line's kind of moved right now. That'll be interesting because Ottawa's favorite 2.5 points at home to the Edmonton Eskimos. So does Victor sit there and go?
Well, let's find out as the advertisement on this is
awesome.
Here we go. And is this?
Here we go. Well, it's great to have you back, Victor, for week number 8.
I want you to shut the hell up right now.
I will leave right now.
How dare you take this long?
You have to understand something.
What's that?
I'm Victor Newman. You got that?
Sorry.
I'm here to do the picks. By the way, I understand your beautiful wife,
Yes. Irene.
Irene. She has a sister.
She does.
Her name is Dame Victoria.
Close.
I have a daughter named Victoria. She's also very beautiful.
Oh, no.
Actually, when I think about that, I shouldn't have put it that way.
I was just going
It's damn disgusting. All right, let's get to the picks right now. First of all, I'm going to start with the team who screwed me last week, the Edmonton Eskimos. But let me tell you this.
What did they do to you?
He screwed me.
Oh, okay.
Plus 2.5. I just do not think that Ottawa has the skill to stop a Mike Riley and a tremendous front seven. So you listen to me. That music's a little loud, isn't it? Yes. Henry Mancini. Shut the hell up. All right. So I'm going to take plus 2.5 for the Edmonton Eskimos. That's what I'm doing right there. The second game I'm going to take is Hamilton and the damn Winnipeg Blue Bombers. And here's what I'm going to say about the Blue Bombers. They've been getting away with murder, all right? It's been cutting it close. But there's one thing that I do know.
Yes.
Hamilton can't stop a damn cold. So they're going to give up points. They're also going to score some damn points. So at 59.5, take the damn over. And that's going to happen, all right? I'm Victor Newman. You got that? Saskatchewan Roughriders and the BC Lions. I've already seen this movie last week. I told you what was going to happen, and it's going to happen again in this home and home. If you call Regina home. Have you been there?
You don't want to go there,
It's
trust
a
me.
damn shithole. The BC Lions at only -2. I'm going to take that. So take the visitor -2. Give those points away because they're going to win, all right? And finally, because they're not going to give me the damn Toronto game, I'll tell you what I'm going to do.
It's going away. You stayed away from that Friday night game.
I am going to take a premiership game, all right? Because
Oh.
English soccer is happening this weekend.
And you do like soccer. You've told me many times how you're great at soccer.
You listen to me right now. Victor Newman is great at everything. Make sure you tell Victoria that. You tell her I can do sit-ups in the nude.
That's a really good selling feature.
Here's the game you're going to take right now. It escapes me at this very second. Here we go. You're going to take Manchester City on the road, Asian handicap -1.5 over that team that just came up from the championship division. That team escapes me right now because I don't have it in front of me. But that doesn't give a damn, all right? So do it. Make sure you take it. -1.5, Manchester City visitor this weekend. Wow, that was great, Victor. That was, woo. That was really
He cut it close there, right?
weird, very weird. He did right on the song.
Yeah, no.
Now, do we have, I think we actually have his picks up there. And this, obviously, courtesy of Bet Regal. So, once again, it is the Edmonton Eskimos +2.5. It's a 197, so almost double your money. I think it's a great number. The Ticats and the Blue Bombers, there's a 1-9 for over 59.5, so they hit 60. Look, it could be one of those freak games, Dave. It wouldn't surprise me if that first half you see like about 40 points. I just think it's going to be one of those games. Hamilton they'll do everything they can to try to win, but they're going to cough up points, so that's why I like his pick as well. Rough Riders and the BC Lions -2, as you heard. I don't see why that game changes from week to week. I don't see what the big surprise is. I think Jennings actually is going to try to get his job back. I think over Travis Lulate. Nice problem to have, you, the BC Lions.
Big time.
And then Brighton and Hove Albion. What the fuck? Yeah. They so just
I wonder what their nickname
let's
is.
just say the
Snakes?
Brighton. Just say the Brightons. The Brightons. But they got to play Man City, so it pays a 185 on the road. The Asian handicap is -1.5. So there's Victor Newman's picks this week. Anything else that we got to get to? I think we've covered
I think we're good.
most of the stuff today. If you're noticing here on Dixware, there's a picture that we talked about him yesterday, Dave.
Yes, exactly.
Charles Bronson.
The guy, the
Yes.
man.
So he'd like those picks. So if you need more of those, we'll put the promos out a little later on today. And so just so you know, Davey is off.
Yep.
Starting tomorrow, you're going to see the folks
You
back
got
in
it.
back in the peg. And then we're off next week as well. So we will be off the air. We've got a lot of stuff we got to do that approaching the fall, as you'll see when we come back, that you're going to see that there'll be a lot of changes in here. You're going to see the screen's going to look a little bit different, and you're going to see a lot of logos because you're going to see some brand new sponsors. So
yeah. So tomorrow you're on the 11th, and then we're off for a week, so we return on the 21st.
On the 21st. And I'm still debating whether I want to do a show tomorrow or not. I got to be honest.
Check MikeRichards.com or at Twitter at @RawMikeRichards.
Whatever you want to work on a Friday.
I vote against it. I think you should take the day off.
I do so much for you people.
That's true.
Yeah. I'd like to thank our good friend Candice DeVay. Why can I never say her name properly?
It's tricky though, eh?
DeVay.
You could say it a lot of different ways.
Well, it's going to be something different in about a year.
Smith.
It's going to be, what's the matter for you? Okay. All right, Luch, get mad. All right, my Italian friends, what's the matter for you? So remember those picks. We'll put them on the website today, or go to our promos, which are fantastic. I thought yesterday's were hilarious. We had the little Rocky talk, little Arnold Schwarzenegger talk, and that bug assault weapon. You know what? Maybe that's what I'll do tomorrow. I'm just going to go mental and paint my face green and go out and kill stuff with that rifle. Have a great weekend. See you on the 23rd.